Subscribe to my channel.
Welcome to Nexon Telecom. Today's topic K0 K1 K2, most important parameter related to resource allocation in time domain. Let's start. So K0, it is the offset between DL slot where PDCCH for downlink scheduling is received and DL slot where PDSCH data is scheduled. That means it is indicate the number of time slot between DL slot where PDACH downlink scheduling is received and downlink slot where PDACH data is scheduled. And this ICE is PDACH time domain resource allocation list. This is the configured by the RRC, and DCI carry time domain resource assignment field. This field is an index and the index point to one entry in RRC configuration time domain list. So here you can see the time domain resource allocation list. This list is already configured by the RRC through the RRC signaling RRC messages, and DCI will point the index, which index we have to use for the K0. So dynamically it will be sent by the G node B. So we can get, suppose that time resource assignment is 0, which is get by the DCI information. So DCI information we get the assignment is 0, means time domain resource allocation list 0th index. So 0th row it will be used by EUE. So K0 value is here 0, mapping type is type A, and SLIV start symbol and length is 40. So next we can see here how K0 will indicate. So here PDCCH occasion where DL DCI. So DCI format is most important. Which format you can find this? So 10 and 11 for DL data scheduling is received. Okay, scheduling is received. Actual data, where is the actual data? Okay, so it is showing, suppose that it shows 3. After 3 slot 1 2 0 1 2, then 3, here we can get the PDS slot. So here we can get the PDSCH data, and now we can move to here in K0. Here is we can decode the DCI in a 0th slot, and mapping type and start symbol length already given in this DCI format. So next one is K1. So it is the offset between DL slot where the data is scheduled on PDACH and UL slot where the acknowledgement, negative acknowledgement feedback or acknowledgement feedback for the scheduled PDAC data need to be sent. That means indicates the number of time slot between PDACH are received. It's successfully received, so you will send the HARC acknowledgement transmission. So this transmission have to send which slot. So this indicate by the K1. Okay, so suppose that K1 indicate 1, means PDSCH HARC feedback timing if value is set to 1, means it's 0 and 1. This row will be applicable for the to send acknowledgement. So DL data to UL acknowledgement. How it is also configured by RRC configured. So DL data to UL act is RRC configured parameter that defined K1 values, arc values, and enabling GNodeB to dynamically scheduling ACNEC. So on PUCHA after downlink data reception. So in eyes, how you can get to know? So when your RRC reconfiguration, here you can check in radio bearer configuration, then PUCCH config. Here you can get the DL data to your acknowledgement. So it's the list of values here, which value you will receive. It is defined by K1. So K1 get from the DCI. So DCI carry by the PDCCH. Next, K2. It is the offset between DL slot where PDCCH for uplink scheduling is received and UL slot where UL data need to be sent on PUSCH. In the simple word, we can say indicates the number of time slot where DL slot where PDCCH, DCI for uplink scheduling and UL slot where UL data need to be sent on PUSCH. यूई को कहाँ पर डेटा सेंड करना है, वो अपलिंक ट्रांसमिशन किस स्लॉट पे देना है, किस स्लॉट पे सेंड करना है अपलिंक ट्रांसमिशन, वो इंफॉर्मेशन आपको पीडीसीसी डीसीआई में इंफॉर्मेशन K2 से प्रोवाइड की जाएगी. और इसके लिए आपके पास PUSCH टाइम डोमेन रिसोर्स एलोकेशन लिस्ट RRC सिग्नलिंग के थ्रू इसको पहले कॉन्फ़िगर किया जाएगा. देन डायनामिकली GNodeB will send the DCI. In DCI, send the allocate the index value. Suppose that here index value is 4, so K2 is 5. Mapping type and start symbol and length is 27. So DCI inform the index values. DCI inform the index values set to the index. Suppose that it's a 4, then K2 is 5. Like that, we can get K2 values. Directly, DCI not sending the values. It's sending the index. It's sending the index value. Index value. What is the index value? Index value is 4. So K2 is here 5. Okay. So suppose that first we can you can see here first we decode the K0 through the DCI format 10 and 11 and we get the downlink PDSCH. Okay, PDSCH, we get the PDSCH data in the downlink in slot 3 and we get the K1. So K1 value to send the acknowledgement on uplink. That's why UE will send the confirmation to GNodeB. UE भेजेगा confirmation GNodeB को कि yes, it's fully decoded, no need to be transmission. So acknowledge will be sent. If negative acknowledgement, then retransmission will be happen. So based on K2 value, I can feedback for the data scheduled on PDSCH slot sent on the PU CCH slot is here is at if K1 value is suppose at 5 here we K1 value get here is a 5 in 4th index value. So we can 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here a special slot will be skipped in counting. Okay, this is 2. So here is a K1 and K2 also. If you wants to transmit something in uplink, so you need to require the uplink slot. So where you have to transmit, which slot you have to transmit, so it will also be configured by the G node B through the PDCCH, PDCH tell, PDCH tell through the PDCCH, tell the DCI information. DCI information, we decode the DCI information formats 00 and 01. So here you can find where you have to schedule your UL data, and so we can say the UL data scheduling is received in slot 4, and here here you can get yes, K2 is here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Here is the K2. It's a defined K2 value is 5. So you can count easily 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. For K1, also you can get the K1 value. Where is the K1? K1 is 4. So K1 is 4. So K1, you can get the K1 value also. So difference is 1, 2, 3, 4 schedule here, but it's a special slot. So after 4, it is the next one is 5th. So it will be scheduled on this 8th slot number 8. It's a uplink slot for acknowledgement. It's a pure data transmission for the UL slot used by the PUSCH. And till now we discussed the slot. Now we discuss the symbols. Suppose in one slot there is a 14 symbols. So which symbol we have to start to decode PDSCH? Who will tell you? So SLIV is telling start symbol length. Here also G node B will configured. You can see here. Yes. Start symbol and length. Suppose it is 40 or 53. Mapping type also. So you can get here how we can select the symbol and length, how to calculate this symbol and length. So suppose you have 53 SLIV start like that. Here SLIV is given you 53 in index 1. In index 1, here is 53. Suppose we calculate this 53. How? What is the starting PDC symbol and length of the PDCH? How we can get? So here the 3GPP define this table in 38.214. Here you can check. Here is the PDCH SLIV 53 type A, mapping type A, which is the normal cyclic prefix, and starting symbol is 2. Okay, so length of the symbol is 12. So here start symbol is 2, length of symbol L. So we can put all the value in this formula. So you also can get this 53. It is the SLIV through this formula. And if L minus 1 less than 7, so SLIV will be here. But your if condition is not satisfying, if your length is 12 minus 1 11, which is greater than 7, so that's why it's come to the else part, and else part here we can calculate S and L starting symbol and length of the symbol. Then we get the 53 is SLIV. So you will be decoding is decode the PDSCH from the symbol 2 till 12th. Next, this is the table for SLIV mapping table. This now next mapping type A and B. So in when you check this SLIV 38.1214 table, here you can get the type A mapping type A is defined only in for the starting symbol is 1, 0, 1, 2 and 3. So that's why it's mapping type. Whenever mapping type you see in logs mapping type, so you can also easily you can decode this. It is starting from 0 or 1 or 2 or 3. This is the range of mapping type starting symbol length. So PDCC allocation starting symbol length. So suppose that it will be 3 mapping type A and it's starting from this 3. So how many symbol it will have for the mapping type? 14th. So PDCC allocation start symbol from 1 to 14 also. For example, if you got the starting symbol is 1. And mapping type B use for the indicate it always start with the first symbol the scheduled PDSCH. Suppose it's a 0 and length is 12. So mini slot based scheduling we can see here. So 2 symbol 4 7 like that. So range is 0 to 12, but here 0 to 3 only. Starting symbol 0, 1, 2 and 3 only. Here starting symbol will be 0 or till the 12th. So here some question whatever we learn. So how is K0 signal to the UE? So K0 is not explicitly signaled. Already I tell you configured by the RRC. Okay, in PDC's time domain allocation list. So here we can check questions. Okay, this is the time domain resource allocation list configured by the RRC. Okay, done, clear. Next is selected by the DCI via time domain resource assignment index. Selected by the time domain resource assignment index. So let's check where is the it is here. Time domain resource assignment index is 0. So 0 index means time domain resource allocation list will be the 0th row. Row 1, row 0, row 1, row 2, like that. So it's clear. So K0 is not explicitly signaled. First RRC will configure, then selected by the DCI. And already mentioned DCI format there. Why does DCI send an index instead of actual K0 value? Why does DCI send index instead of actual K0 value? So the main purpose for this, reduce DCI payload size. Second things, allow flexible reuse of a time domain configuration, because there is a list of time domain configurations. So dynamically GNodeB have to control the change time domain configurations with a list of their index values there. So third is support dynamic scheduling without frequent RRC update. Okay, if no need to update continuously RRC messages. So that's why. So K0 for the DL scheduling. Okay, means receive DCI in PDCCH, decode this and find the PDACH location where the data will we have to receive. Okay, K2, it's a UL scheduling. Decode the first PDCCH, get the DCI and check the K2 value where you have to transmit data on uplink PUSCH. Okay, next. Can K0 be changed dynamically without RRC signaling? So as long as K0 value exists in RRC configured list, so G0B can dynamically select via DCI. Okay, via DCI, G0B can be dynamically select K0 values. So next is how is K0 related to SLIV? So each time domain resource entry contain K0 slot offset and SLIV K0 indicates slot offset and SLIV indicate the symbol start and length within that slot. I already discussed SLIV provide you starting symbol and length of the symbols. Means कहाँ से यूई को किस सिंबल से पीडीसी रिसीव करना है पीडीएससी रिसीव करना है सो वो सिंबल एंड कहाँ तक उसे डेटा रिसीव होगा वो सिंबल्स सो they define when and where PDSH is transmitted. Next is K0 numerology dependent? So K0 is defined in slot. It's absolutely time duration changes with numerology. Numerology change, so time duration will be changed. So next question is, can multiple PDSCH transmission use different K0 value in same cell? So different UE can use different K0 value as selected by DCI, or even same UE can at a different time. Now K0 question is finished. Now we start K1. So what is DL data to UL acknowledgement in a 5G NR? Its parameter also be configured by the RRC. So DL data to UL acknowledge define the timing between DL data reception, means you will receive PDSCH, and if it's successfully decoded, received successfully, so it will be acknowledge will be sent to the uplink. So uplink HARC acknowledgement transmission on the PUCCH. So here we can check how it will be happen. So here you get the K0 value. Suppose that it will be 3, so 1, 2, 3. After 3 slot, we get PDCH in this third number of slot, and here we get the K1 value. After receiving K1, acknowledgement will send by the 8th value. Okay, 8th time slot, 8th UL slots. Okay, and DL data to UL ACK already it is configured by the RRC. Okay, RRC configured parameter. This is the RRC configured parameter where you can check here PDSCH to HARC feedback timing indicator. Okay, it is a DCI format 1110. Okay, so ICE is DL data to UL acknowledgement is a list of values for uplink transmission. So next is yes. So where is the DL data to UL acknowledge configured? So it is configured in PUCCH config, which is sent to UE via RRC reconfiguration message. Okay, where a DL data to UL configured? So it is configured in PUCCH config and which is sent to UE via RRC reconfiguration message. Okay, so next is DL data to UL sent in DCI or SIV? So answer is no, it is not sent in DCI or SIV. It is only configured by RRC signaling. Next is how does UE know which is K1, which K1 is used? So the DCI contain index pointing to one of the configured K1 value in DL data to UL acknowledgement. Already we learn from the slide. Next is K1 values. Next is Kevin. What does DL data to UL acknowledgement represent logically? So it is represent a set of possible K1 values. In SNP, we already check here set of K1 values is there, where K1 indicate how many slot after DL reception. अगर कोई डेटा रिसीव हुआ यूई को, उसके बाद K1 की इंडिकेट कितने स्लॉट बाद वो यूई एक्नॉलेजमेंट सेंड करेगा अपलिंक में. सो यहाँ पर हमें इससे ये पता चलता है DL डेटा टू यूएल एक्नॉलेजमेंट. Next question is why DL data to UL acknowledgement needed instead of fixed K1? So because flexible slot format, numerology and TDD pattern require different ACK timing options for efficient scheduling. So different TDD patterns and numerology is there. So that's why it's flexibility. So because of flexible slot format, we didn't use a fix. Next is how is DL data to UL acknowledgement related to slot format? So the selected K1 must ensure that UL slot is available and does not conflict with DL or special slot. So that's why we are skip the special slots. So this is all about the information of K0, K1 and K2. So like, subscribe and share. Thank you.
Don't forget to subscribe.